No, as soon as you've completed stage 1, do fill in the application form for stage 2. Please don't worry about this. Your assessor will manage the time within the overarching assessment section. You should be prepared to answer questions on all 8 case scenarios, but we may find that they will not always be needed. You will always be asked questions on a child patient, however. No, your assessor will send the 8 case scenarios that she is going to use an hour before, and then you can use that time to look through those records, refer back to the matrix, and consider the cases that are going to be used during your overarching section assessment. You'll also find some useful questions within the trainee guidance on the college website to help consider what sort of questions the assessor may ask in relationship to those records. You can have the case scenarios printed out and have those in front of you, and you are able to make rough notes during the overarching section. Well, assessors have all been trained that to ask you questions at entry level, but when looking at the case scenarios, consider what questions would you ask the patient? What other tests might you have done? Are the results what you would expect? How would you manage that patient? How would you communicate the findings to the patient? And is the scenario complete and are the details fully recorded? This is not an exhaustive list because the assessors will refer back to the indicators within each competency to make sure everything is covered during the overarching section of the exam. Further information can be found on the trainee guidance on the college website.
I can see no reason why, as an optometrist, I need to lower my mask. If you have it fitting well, your lenses won't steam up, and you do have a screen. You need to comply with the health and safety and risk assessment practices in your own workplace, and ensure that essentially during the assessment you do what you normally do to handle that issue of lenses steaming up.
Yes, you can, but I also think it's very important that you do have an understanding of what power a contact lens would be approximately if a patient is wearing a high prescription, for instance, +10 or -10 in their spectacles, without having to refer to this table.
You need to opt in to stage 2. We don't automatically book the stage 2 assessment now when you finish stage 1 because we recognise that some people may be, for example, living overseas still and doing stage 1 remotely. So you need to opt in to stage 2. There's no deadline for that, so please do that as soon as you can when you finish stage 1. If you're a Boots trainee, Boots have asked for 3 weeks notice. Other employers are happy with 2 weeks notice, but you may well have more than those time frames. Stage 2 booking has only just opened a few days ago, so please be assured that we are booking assessments, and I hope that you will hear within the next few weeks. But it is a manual process with extra steps that have come in because of COVID, and we're working through them as best we can. As you know, the stage 2 is split into 2 sections, and so you will get the results after the second section, whichever you have sat second, and we normally ask assessors to write the report within a week, so you should have the results within a week of the second section that you do.
No, it's not graded, but full participation is required. No, you do not need to do both, but there is some very useful learning material available on the college website within the HES resource, which you may find will help you with both Stage 2 and OSCEs. The low vision aspect of the virtual HES resource, however, is limited to those who were not able to get an HES observation prior to lockdown.